Hey everybody, welcome. I am just setting up, I decided to go for a little bit of study today. So I'm just setting up, what is this now? The map crunch file for myself that I want to make a study of, and it takes a little bit of looking around. Let me actually bring this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So just in case you didn't know, MapCrunch is sort of a Google Maps Street View randomizer, and that helps you in finding something that's interesting. So I like this. Hey Pablo Barrio, that's a more interesting sky, but then everything else is a little bit boring, isn't it? It's a bit hard finding the correct visual. There we go. I dig this. Let me see if there's a better, let's go with this here. Yeah, I like this. So I'm gonna push this over to the other side so it's not in the way, and I can get started here. So what I'm going to do is just take some big brushes, and I'm going to try and match the colors without color picking. That's the interesting part here. Actually, I'm wondering if it would be useful. Okay, I need definitely a bit more yellow into this and a bit more green. And let me actually take a print screen so I have the same thing here. There we go. So I'm just going to cut out everything that I don't need. It stays on top, perfect. Oh, hey everybody else. We started, hello Maura and hello Uyvala. Interesting name. So Pablo Barria says, I started drawing because of the virus. Hey, if something good comes out of this virus is that at least some people start drawing, right? We have to look at the positives. Okay, this is definitely not the correct blue. So actually let me take this out of its thing as well. And then this can be on top. My sound is low. Oh, okay, wait. Let me see if I can do something about that. Stream mic. It's set actually quite high there. Okay. 1, 2, 1. Oh, okay. Let me go into from the open sound settings, microphone, advanced options. Let me see if I can set this a little bit higher for you guys. Okay, that's not the microphone. Okay, back. Yeah, I can see that it is low here. I hope. Okay, so test. Why is it so low? Is this turned off? No, volume is. Oh, no, there we go. Okay, so now it probably might be a bit too loud, but it's better than too low. So creative aperture, I also started sketching because of it. Yeah, well, as I said, at least something that came out of it. There we go. I think I like this blue. Tell me guys what, it's good now. Perfect, awesome. Feel free to ask questions. I'm mostly using, I thought since I'm doing live streaming, I might as well use that to better myself and not draw necessarily something that I'm good in, but maybe try and draw something where I'm still not so good. So that would be this here, whatchamacallit, plein air painting. And for plein air is basically what I'm trying to do here is understand colors a little bit more, and I'm trying to make it as painterly as possible. But I see now that I should use a more soft brush, something like this maybe. So the thing is, when I'm trying to make things a bit more painterly, I'm trying to use brushes that are much rougher. So there we go. Let's just go for the airbrush. It just looks better in this case. Hey Dijan, nice to have you in here, and hello new people as well. I hope everybody is doing fine. How many of you have vacation tomorrow? Well, holidays I would say, rather than vacation, because Easter is coming up soon, right? Well, this weekend. So I know quite a couple of people get the whole Friday to Monday off. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to have a road here, which goes a little bit like that. And that road is concrete, which one would think concrete is blue, but this doesn't look blue at all. I'm gonna go in with a blue. See, it's not correct. I'm gonna lock the layer and go in again. So going with a little bit of redder. Something like that. Maybe let's go a bit darker. Yeah, that's not it at all. This is interesting. No. That's more like it, and then turn down saturation. I just wanted to say that your videos of drawing robot are awesome. Funny that in a paid course, Jennifer, and I feel like you already covered it. Yeah, I'm messing up people's businesses, don't I? No, I always felt like there's so much free stuff on YouTube. I tried out Skillshare and a couple of sites like that, but YouTube always had the best tutorials. And I thought, yeah, let me just try and help people. Let me just try and share my knowledge. By the way, if you guys will see these little pop-up windows, I have sort of an app running in background that forces me to take breaks every 10 minutes. So that's what's happening whenever that little thing appears there. I'm sorry for that. It's a little bit disruptive, I know, but I like it. It helps me stay healthy, just to move my muscles a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy that you liked my robot drawing video. It's why I did it. Okay, so we have a road there. So what I'm going to do is a little bit go into and add some of these greens. So I see a green field here, and it's a bit more straight. So I'm just gonna go in with a bit more saturated green, something like this. Yeah, that maybe a bit darker, just like that. There we go. Something like this. No, don't zoom in. And then there are a couple of greens, well, not green, but earth splocks I see coming through there. And earth would be going back towards red, desaturating it a little bit and making it a bit darker, I feel like. Yeah, I like that. So what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to imitate Sparth a little bit. And if you don't know who Sparth is, I think I don't know if it's his full name, but it might be just his nickname. Sparth Nicolas Bouvier. He's, I think, the main concept artist. I don't want to say Bungie. I don't remember exactly which studio he's the main concept artist at. Oh, let us turn off WhatsApp. We don't need that right now. But yeah, definitely check out Sparth for some crazy inspiration. So this has a bit more red in it, and it's a bit lighter. So I'm gonna push it over into red, lighten it up, something like this. Huh, why can't I see? Okay, so I pressed something and nothing is happening. Oh, what is this then? There we go. So it was just a glitch. All right. I know there's no pixel selected. So I'm just gonna do this all over the place. Yeah, wrong color. And I feel definitely lighter than this. Yeah, this is more like it. This is what I see there in small as well. So this is also an interesting exercise for me because I have this bad tendency of always zooming in. So I'm trying to keep the canvas as small as possible and not to zoom in. And I'm using the lasso tool just to get some random shapes. So as I said, what I saw from Sparth, obviously he knows what he's doing and I don't quite as much know what I'm doing. So let's hide that selection and go in with a darker. Yeah, I like that. And then now push towards the green a little bit, darken it, because that seems quite dark, to be honest. Yeah. See, I'm like 2 weeks in from just now watching your videos, but I will look robot drawing. That's actually what I'm working on this week. Struggling to draw metal texture. Corey, are you drawing metal textures digitally or traditionally? Because, well, there's a slight difference. But then I can maybe answer your question better if I know which medium you're using. Yes, any suggestions not getting bored of drawing? Well, what sort of drawings are you doing that get you bored? It depends. You get bored if you're not having fun. And if you're usually not having fun if you're doing the same thing over again. Like if you're drawing something that is really hard, you're not getting bored, you may be getting frustrated because it's a bit harder, right? Okay, let me return to red. But I don't see, like, you won't get bored of something new that you're drawing when you're learning, right? I need a bit more in the red area. Okay. This color choosing reminds me of Murano and how much he likes color that feel natural. Okay, I will have to look up Mural Joe. Let us see who he is. This is why I like doing this. I also learn from you guys. Oh, he's a YouTuber. Okay, cool. I will have to check him out later. Nice. Thanks, guys. Corey Bradley, digital. Okay. Well, digital you can cheat. So, okay, let me do a quick pause here. I'll make a new window and I'll do some quick line work. Okay, so let me just take this. Okay, let's say, and I don't like it. There we go. So let's say I'm drawing a sort of a quick robot. And I don't have an idea what I'm drawing, so I'm just gonna put down a quick cube for myself. And I'm gonna say I want the legs to be there. And it should be some sort of walker, so some sort of chicken legs. There we go, and then it goes back and something like that. So a very basic one. It's not about design with this one. It's more about where we end up. Okay, that's in the way now. So I'll just leave this upper part a bit. Okay, this seems interesting enough. I want to sort of like headlights here. Actually, let me make it a bit more full screen. There we go. And let's say it has a grille, sort of like a mix between an old school looking car and a robot. Let me just put in a little bit more detail on the legs. They're there. That was way too much in the front. There was no balance there. So I'm gonna bring it a little bit lower. There we go. Okay, let's say this is our little robot. I'm gonna create a layer below it. Fill it quickly with white. Just very roughly go in there. Because we just want to have the blocked out shape. Okay, now this I'm gonna, oh, that was black. There we go, white. I'm gonna lock this layer and I'm just gonna do some gradients for it, like that. And then if the light comes from there, I want it to have some minor shadowing. So I just separate some areas with a lasso tool. And I say then everything which is a little bit to the left side, I want to be like mostly in shadow, like this area as well. There we go, and then maybe let's have a little bit of drop shadow here as well, something like that. And I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow where the joints are supposed to be, because I feel like that should work like that. All right. Let's see if this color first I leave it, but I want to draw. What should I do? Well, the thing is, draw little stuff and draw fun stuff. Draw stuff that you really like, right? You have to find something that's enjoyable for you in everything you do. Oh, micro break again, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, at least in the meantime I can catch up a little bit with your tech comments. Hi there. Have faith that you will improve. Yeah, so yes, it's really about setting up something that you want to do and having fun with what you're doing. So if one day you're frustrated, make sure that next day you do something that you know for sure that you will like. So if you like to draw, I don't know, robots, or if you like to draw anime stuff, one day you do the anime, next day you do the studies. Okay, so I use CG textures quite a lot, and I see I'm not logged in at the moment. Let me see if I can, there we go. Metal, so I'm gonna look for metal. I don't want 3D, I just want 2D, so not all photo texture is what I want. So look for it again. And it depends also what sort of metal you want. I think you have them here as well. Metal, aircraft panels, bare, scrap. I like the scratches. Yeah, exactly. So these are usually always nice if you go for scratches. Because it gives you that worn texture. So I'm looking through a little bit. I love this. I do have this already, so I'm not gonna, well, maybe I'm done with it again, doesn't matter that much. This looks cool. Actually, this looks also quite nice. So I'm gonna open this one as well. So we have this one. It's a bit too strong. Looking at it, this might be too strong as well. So I like this, and this is really cool, but I'm gonna stick with this for now. So I can download the medium sized one I see. Let's click it, and let me take this away. Where are my folders? 2020, there we go, actually. Why am I so lost right now? Textures, where are you? Reference, textures, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna save it in here. And let me open the folder. Okay, great. Show in folder. And I'm just gonna pull this into Photoshop. Well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it into a different window because I want to use it that way. Okay. So now I'm gonna make a copy of it because I'm gonna work more with it probably. So zoom down, and you can basically put it over the whole thing. So I'm gonna adjust it just a little bit so it fits everywhere. And then I like to use an overlay layer. Well, you can also use whichever works best for you. You can go a little bit, always try out which one you like most, but overlay seems to work. And what you can do, if you are ready, so I'm gonna take the texture away for a second, add another layer on top of it, and make it a hue layer. And I'm just gonna fill it with blue. I'll enter, and then I'm gonna fill it with blue. Yeah. And apparently it's not hue, but color that I need. Yeah. And this blue is way too saturated. There we go. So now I bring back my layer, and we already have a little bit of texture there. Let's see if I can go a little bit stronger with this texture. I like this actually, but I think if I'm going to go to image, adjustment, where is it, and desaturate. Yeah, that's much better. And now I'm just going to select the robots area and apply a mask to it. And I'm gonna take areas that are in shadow a little bit away. There we go. So I don't know if this helps you, Corey. I hope it does. But the fastest way is you throw this texture on it, and then you just make a new layer. You come in with a finer brush, and you just continue what you see. So I'm gonna take a white brush, and I'm just gonna add maybe in some more scratches. What you can do is also add in a little bit of wear and tear. So never go full white, that's something that I would recommend. But you can go like with a nice gray, or actually color pick what you already have there, and add in some wear and tear here and there. So you know that you have an edge here. You can always make it a little bit shinier. What you can do with metal as well, you can go below the layers. So I'm going to turn on the color, and I'm also going to turn on the texture. And I know that there's sort of almost like a value change almost in metal. So I'm going to pick the darker value, and I'm going to use the gradient tool to fill in a little bit dark there, and I'm going to come against it with a lighter. So I'm going to pick this one and make it even lighter. I'm going to come against it a little bit there. And now when I turn these on, you have this nice little value change. You can actually do that here as well. And I like to go a little bit against what one would expect. So since the light is coming from the, I don't know which way to show, from this corner, I'm gonna go with a darker area, with a darker value from, oh, did I not select it? Let me select it again. Nice, and then the left upper corner, I'm gonna use the dark value, and a little bit come back with a lighter value from below, just like that. And then put those back in. And see, that gives it quite a nice shiny thing. You can do the same on the top, actually. Let me turn these off so they won't bother me. So I'm gonna come with the dark from behind the little, well, actually it would be nicer if I do it like this. And I'm gonna go even brighter because we're on the top of the robot and the light is hitting it stronger. I think that's quite nice. And I'm gonna do the same for the front of the robot. So, and here I'm going to, let's see how, I do like it more like that. So this won't always make sense, I mean light-wise, but you can cheat with it a little bit. And it looks good, and I'm just gonna paste this texture back in, because we didn't apply it everywhere. And what you can do is also you can, so don't just put it in like I did it before, make sure to, so the seams and the lines, it should fit in perspective. Hey Angapana. Alright, so now that this is pasted in, I'm gonna cut out the part that is not meant to be, like this front part. And I'll cut out this area as well. Paste in the texture again. Zoom out a little bit. Why is... there we go. Photoshop is acting really weirdly lately. Like, I don't know what Adobe is doing, but it's not making me happy. Yeah, and on the top you have to skew it, obviously, and don't make it too big or too small. I don't want that change in value in there, so I'm gonna do this. And then just cut away the area that is not needed. Alright, and this was vivid light, so we're going to do this vivid light, and this is going to be vivid light as well. So there you go, those are the textures, and now, as I said, come back on top of it, switch to your brush, take the lightest value, and and just make sure to paint over it a little bit. What is happening, Photoshop? Calm down. Jesus. Yeah, and now, okay, you really have to stop that. Now that we are here, I'm going to use a little bit of closer to pure white and this edge, just to give that a little bit of shine. Okay, like honestly, this is getting stupid. Okay, and now it's obviously, if you want to paint over it, you can paint over it here. You can also go below it, just turn off the texture. That's why usually texturing you do last. Because it just makes sense to not jump in there, right? So let me come in here with a little bit of darks. And there's another break. So let us take a break. Oof. Yeah, so I did not plan on drawing robots today, and yet we ended up drawing robots. But returning a little bit to Yashesh's question as well, about how to keep yourself motivated, it's also good to watch a lot of stuff. So I like watching anime, I like watching movies, cartoons, whatever, because I just always discover things that are new, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to try out how to draw that. And I think those people did a really good job, let me also give it a try. And it's just one of the ways to keep yourself interested and motivated. So there's some lights there. And push everything back. Yeah, I feel like the blue is also a little bit too strong there, so I'm gonna tone it down. And these two I didn't desaturate. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave this robot here for now. This also. It's funny, I want to stop doing this so I can go back to my study, but it's just too much fun mucking about with this little robot fella. Okay, let's switch back to this guy. But yeah, feel free to ask me anything. I'll gladly try my best and explain if I can. Where were my painterly brushes? There we go. What did I have here? Oh, that's a waste of waste. Okay, so we have a little bit of darker greens here as well, but I feel they're going more towards the reddish. Yeah, maybe a bit even more. Yeah, that feels nice. And let me do this a bit with the lesser tool as well. It goes a bit like this, and then you definitely have Marius missing there. So I'm just gonna cut in here and there. Yeah, that's a bit too soft in the middle. I have to. So the thing I noticed with the lesser tool, it can look very mechanical, and if you're not going for that mechanical look, it's going to be a bit weird. Yo, this does help, like, for real. Oh, awesome! Another thing, this is an eye opener to learn more into my software. The layers like color burns. Yeah. So the thing with the layers is, like, I don't know how they work either necessarily, but just play with them, like, see what works for you. So you don't have to know exactly which does what. That's what I learned from other people as well, because I was a bit too afraid of trying out all those color layers, or layer properties, because I didn't know what exactly to do with them. But much smarter people than myself, who were experts actually in the field, just told me, like, dude, just start experimenting and enjoy yourself. Okay, this works, and yeah, definitely just go over it and paint in those little details. That will help you a lot as well. Okay, let's bring in this here. I feel like there's a lot more, at least there should be. Oh, maybe exit Steam as well. Bye-bye, Steam. Besides lines and shapes, do you think you had a well understanding of mechanical joints when you started drawing mechs? I did a little bit. So the thing is, I did study mechanical engineering, but I don't know how much that helped. So I really don't want to say that due to my mechanical engineering studies I understand joints better, because it has been a long time ago since I did those studies, and I wasn't necessarily fantastic in them. I like the drawing part. I like the mechanical drawing part. I like explaining mechanisms. So that was fun. But I did watch a lot of Japanese robot anime. So honestly, as a kid, I never cared about anime if it wasn't with giant robots. That's the only thing that really got me interested and kept me interested. So where is this color? There. So yeah, it definitely helps if you have a pre-understanding a little bit of joints and mechanical parts. And I did work in the industry, but you can just in general try to see if it functions and how it functions, and that's why it's also I recommend people to work a little bit in 3D as well, because if you work in 3D, that will force you to see, okay, here the geometry actually intersects, and that's not necessarily the best outcome. Okay, stop zooming in. I should not be zooming in that much. So now you can include your robot into your landscape. I might include a robot here. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, a good way of studying is bringing some of your own stuff in. So not just what you see. I'm gonna bring in some of these lighter stripes here, and then there's another one there, something like that, and then just cut into it a little bit and cut out of this one as well and bring them a little bit more together. Okay, let's see. Okay, oh, that's nice, that's working. Hey Andra, hey Elliot, and you're welcome, Pablo. Okay, let me see. So then I would say let's add the bushes here. So greens are always a pain for me because these are always there we go. Lock the layer, go in with a darker, more warmer, let's say even darker green, just like that. And then on top where the light is hitting, I would also go a little bit, well, I'm just gonna go lighter, let's see. Lighter, a bit more saturated. That will bring in some of that yellow. Yeah. And I feel like I have to unlock this because on the image here it's much more almost horizontal what we have here. Just like that. Okay, and lock it again. Nefant, asking this again because I think you overread it. What do you do for a living currently besides YouTube? Oh, YouTube is no living. YouTube is really no living. What I was doing outside when we didn't have this fantastic lockdown situation is I go to all sorts of conferences and sessions, and I draw along. And basically I do quick visual summaries and representations of big conferences on one part, and on the other part I help companies with visualizing their strategies, their visions for the future, just basically also like product visualization in the sense that if they want to come up with some sort of new product. So just to where were we? Here. So this is going to be my little everything corner here. Just so I can explain it better. Basically, okay. So I'm gonna explain further on in a couple of seconds. Imagine, you know how people say that a picture says 1,000 words. Well, that's basically what I do for businesses and companies. So I'm a freelancer who, if you have a conference where there's people and they're standing around and they're talking at tables, and you have a lot of people doing that, and then you also have a stage, and somebody's presenting at the stage, and maybe they're talking about some innovation, or they're talking about how to take their business to a new level, and then they have flips there. I stand somewhere on the side, and I have a big piece of paper on the wall, and I draw everything that he's saying, sort of like this, that you can see here on the wall there. Or another thing is, what I do is I sit in an office with like top CEOs and managers of a company, and then we have a discussion about which way they want to take the company, and then I do the typical design thing where I get all their ideas and everything on little post-its, and I put those on the wall, and then we cluster these post-its, and then based on these post-its I translate these into sort of a visual element where you can see that, okay, this is the guy's company and they want to go and split it up, or they want to introduce new things and they need new people, and then who needs to do what. And these are sort of the drawings that I'm doing. I'm helping them basically with their thinking, because yeah, what I like to say is if you have, for him, it's almost like, especially if you're an industrial designer, it's almost like rapid prototyping, because he sees this so he can change what he's thinking, that comes down on the paper again, and it's sort of this iterative loop. So I really help people think by simple drawings. So that is what I do for a living, and then beside that I do a little bit of illustration work and also a little bit of YouTube, because it's fun. But YouTube I don't do for money. There's really not much money in YouTube, I can tell you that. Okay, and with that, let's get back to this painting. Okay, let's see if we have other questions. Hello new people. Did you animate too? Yes, I do some basic animations, but it is definitely not my forte. Animation is not my forte. But I did some animations. I have some minor experience in After Effects, and obviously I use Premiere Pro to do my YouTube videos. How is your day? My day is actually good. If you're just asking how my day was, it was good, because very uncharacteristically we have really nice weather here in the Netherlands. So there is no complaining on my part at all. So I feel like I need to bring a little bit of green back in here because I went too brown. There we go. We're welcome, Infant. I hope that answered your question. Okay, let's go. Let's go. This goes a little bit further. It goes in there. I don't really care about this not being correct, because now I'm just filling up a little bit of the shape, because I'm gonna lock it down and just go in with the correct value. And I'm just gonna fix it a little bit here and there. There we go, just needed to go over that. Okay, now I come here, and what I do here as well is just select a little bit of this ground and I'll come in with a much darker green as shadow. Oh, so this should be the shadow. And I also deselect it because I want to keep it a little bit painterly, right? Just like that. And I can erase some of this. Actually, let me take a rough eraser. This one. Are you a snap? I'm afraid I don't understand that question. You will have to reformulate a little bit, and the music is also gone for some reason. Let me see what the music issue is. Yes, please continue. Alright, so let me do the background as well. Background is a bit more desaturated because atmospheric fog. There we go. So this is sort of that hill, and I see that here in the middle I have to go a little bit more into the blue-green, and I'm going to fix this blue here a little bit. Oh yeah, and I forgot that there were clouds. So let us come in with a little bit of white. There we go. There's our clouds. And clouds can look very beautiful if somebody does them who is good at painting. So you would think that clouds are easy, but no, they are actually not at all. So what I'm gonna darken them a little bit and also warm it up. Okay, let me just find a color that I think fits, desaturate it a bit. Yeah, I think that's better for sure. Samuel Santos, hello, I'm studying industrial design. Any tips for improving sketching? Well, what part of sketching would you like to improve? Do you feel that you're lacking in some specific area? Just because I can give you better advice if I know where you think that you're lacking a bit. And Dio Joestar, actually I thought your painting was a picture. How long did it take you to get this good? Well, I don't know. So that's the interesting things, because it's hard to see your own progress sometimes. And I know that I've been drawing ever since I know myself, and I've been drawing digitally since 2000. Let me not lie. I think around 2006 is when I got into digital drawing. But you can always be better than I am, because I'm not so good at all. A bit darker. It's just about keep practicing. The good thing, it's sort of an interesting story. So you can look up Bobby Chiu. He's a designer, concept artist. He worked on many Disney movies and just movies in general. And he had sort of a podcast or get together for artists all over the world digitally. And I was participating in that as well. We were just hanging out. He was streaming and he was talking and giving advice, and we were just listening and trying to learn from him and just drawing along. And that's what kept me motivated and kept me pushing, because I saw people who were on the same level as me and who took things a bit more serious than I did, and they just advanced like crazy. And then I wanted to sort of keep up, and I also started pushing myself a little bit more here and there. So that's what kept me moving. Marker rendering and rapid iterative design. Well, marker rendering is not my strength, but when it comes to rapid iterative design, it's just take that pen. Don't use. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer, guys. Why didn't you tell me that I'm on the wrong layer? So for rapid iterative design, it's important that you are comfortable with making mistakes. And that's why industrial designers sketch a lot with markers or just pens in general, because you make all those mistakes and you can't fix it. So you're just forced to, just move on to the next one and move on to the next one. And that really speeds up the way you think and the way you approach things. And maybe I want to separate this onto a different layer just to be sure. So that would be my advice if you want to be better at rapid iterative stuff. It's really just don't worry about those mistakes and learn to fix them, learn to incorporate those mistakes into whatever you're doing. Okay. Just gonna bring a little bit of darks in here, bring them down there. Has the worldwide virus affected you in any way, good or bad effects? Yeah, it has. It has, as in, I do have less clients at the moment. So that is definitely an effect. But it's not as bad because I come from Eastern Europe, where we are pretty afraid of going freelance. and starting our own things. So when I decided to finally go freelance, I made sure that I have at least a year's worth of money set aside for myself, because otherwise I would have been just too stressed all the time. So with that year's worth of money set aside, now I'm also, I'm hit, but I'm not hit that badly. I just have to be a little bit more frugal here or there technically, and it should be okay. And I do have still client work coming in. And the good thing is, as I explained before about what my work is and how I work, is that a lot of people are switching to digital conferences and trying to move their business digital. So they're doing a lot of voice calls and stuff like that. And I still am valuable as an asset. Like I can still sit in on the call and help them with visualizing what they need to talk about. And on the other hand, I am a little bit of a shut-in introvert. So on an emotional level, it didn't hit me that much, to be honest. It's I'm fine like that. I don't mind sitting inside and drawing and playing video games. So that's, from that point of view, I'm fine. Yeah, I ignored that. I shouldn't, but I did. Right now I'm having fun here. Okay, a little bit darker. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. I do like that. Let's bring in some of... Oh, no, wait. Go away. Let's bring it a little bit here. Yeah. It's really fun when you paint and it starts coming together. How is quarantine? Yeah, as I said, I'm I'm fine. I honestly am. It is annoying because it is the Netherlands, and weather here sucks in general. And for the last 2 weeks, it has been absolutely gorgeous. The sun is out shining. It's 26 degrees in the house. It's like comfortable 22, 23 outside. You can see a lot of children playing outside. So that is quite annoying, because I'm pretty sure that as soon as they will lift the quarantine, it will start raining, it will be cold, and it will be shit weather. So I'm looking forward to that. But I tried as much as I could to stick to the quarantine rules, and I only left the house for really for supermarket, not even, well, once we went walking with a girlfriend, but other than that, I didn't even go for walks. So, but yeah, I'm doing okay. Video games and drawing and a little bit of leftover work is keeping me alive. Any tips for motivating yourself for practice sketching? Yeah, I talked a little bit about it before as well. Having friends is one thing that can help you a lot. So just being a little bit competitive with your friends and just setting small goals and doing a little bit every day takes you a long way, I must say. And I am blessed to having quite a couple of friends who work within the gaming industry. And because they are concept artists, they still... Okay, I'm gonna take a small break. So because they're concept artists, they still have to work. And then we are all just hanging out on Discord from time to time, and we draw and chat and do things together. So that's definitely motivating, because they are all 1,000 times better than I am when it comes to concept art stuff. And it is quite motivating working with them. Thanks, Pablo. I'm also glad that I'm fine. Okay, Dio. In your painting, it looks like the road curves at the vanishing point. I tried it before, but it looked strange. How did you do it? Vanishing point. Yeah, just give me 1 second and I'll look into that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna cut the break a little bit shorter. So let's skip. Okay, let me go back to my all thingy here. So I'm just gonna draw it from above in 2D, right? So the road is going something like this. And then it goes that way. Something like that. So this is the curvature of the road. Now I'm going to select this road just with the selection tool, and I'm going to give it a transform. Now if we look, or the camera, if we look that way, or if I look that way, everything is going to merge a little bit. So before I do that, let me draw a quick camera setup, right? So this is the horizon line, and if we have a road, let's say this is a vanishing point, the road goes there, and then if I want to do the same here, so let me move it, transform, so I'm going to bring it down, because if I'm looking, it's going to be a little bit distorted, and I'm going to bring these 2 points together. There we go. And bring it lower a little bit. So this is the same road. Let me actually take it and put it in here. This is the same road, but then I applied a little bit of perspective to it. So as you can see, it goes like that. So this is also what's happening in my in the drawing. So you have to think everything gets a little bit smooshed because of foreshortening. Yashef, why do you take breaks? I take breaks because I have an issue with my neck here, because especially when you draw with Photoshop, my hand is always hovering above the keyboard, and because my hand is hovering there for all the shortcuts that I'm using, basically the whole hand all the way up to my neck is in tension. So basically this hand I have tense, basically this muscle that comes up here is tense all day long for 8 hours, and that's super unhealthy. So by taking a break every 10 minutes and then taking a longer break where I stand up and walk around every hour, I try to keep my body healthy, which is very important when you have a job where you sit around most of the time. Okay, let's lock this down again. Switch brushes, back to Painterly. There we go. But basically this is already reading, I would say. I don't have all the colors correctly, and I'm going to bring in some warmth here, some more saturation because it's needed. Yeah, that's already better. Maybe a little bit more towards the yellow and a bit more saturated. Just like that. And what kind of video is coming on YouTube? Oh, I don't know yet. That's my problem with YouTube. I don't like planning because it's a little bit less fun for me if I have to plan ahead. So I like to keep it random, and I like to keep, let's see what I feel like now. I like to mix it up, so some teaching stuff, and then 1 or 2 fun stuff, and then teaching stuff again, and then fun stuff again. Because if I just constantly churn out tutorials, it's a bit, it feels too much like work, you know. It's slightly less fun for me that way. I like that, but now I see that this one needs a lot of yellow. I'm totally missing yellow here. Like that. How often do you live stream? Not often enough. Usually I'm not gonna say I do it once a quarter, just because I forget about it, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in even though I shouldn't. But yeah, now during this quarantine, I think I don't know if I did one last week, but I definitely did one before last week. And I would like to do more. It's just also that I'm quite loud in the house. and I don't want to necessarily take over the house with just me talking on the stream. Ah, that's a little bit better, even though it's a bit more orangey. Yeah, there we go. Let's call it that. Okay. There we go. And this one needs a little bit darker greens. Corey, my motivation comes from me wanting to invent things for everyone to use. I have wrote down things I want to do. I want to get a prototype made. The person was changing 3 to 5K. I want a home and made it. Oh, nice. Charging. There you go. It's perfect, isn't it? Like you making something that makes other people's lives better, and at the same time you also make a living off of it. That is the life. That's what everybody would want to do, I bet. I feel like when you're younger, maybe you don't have that, but the sooner you get into that mindset, the sooner you take things more seriously, and you also have more the motivation, obviously. So that is a very good motivation, Corey. I applaud you on that. Do you have an industrial design background? Now I want to make an actual model design that works. So now I'm learning to draw and create 2 years, and I have enjoyed. Oh, nice! Haha, of course your girl loves it. That's nice, man. That's how you get them hooked at good stuff. You should. I don't know if you do 3D modeling, but Fusion 360 is free, and it's a really good software for everything I think you need. Let me bring in some of this one. Yeah, that works nicely. And we need a bit of darker green here. Oh. It's a bit transparent. Yeah, that's the problem, the transparency. Nice accent, I think, here. Yeah, I am Hungarian. I am totally Hungarian, the hell. I learned industrial design here in the Netherlands. I studied mechanical engineering before that, and I realized that I really like drawing, and I wanted to combine my love for drawing somehow with engineering that I was studying. But like let's not waste these years that I put into engineering. And then I ended up with doing industrial design here in Delft, in the Netherlands. And then instead of doing proper industrial design, I ended up sketching a bit more. Okay, don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. Zooming in is not good. Let me see if I can suggest some shapes here. So one of my bad habits, and I feel like many people's bad habits, is that they like zooming in because you can detail them, and detailing is always fun, isn't it? So I'm trying to force myself not to do that, but it is hard. It's like almost like a reflex by now that I hit that space bar and I start zooming in a little bit. Okay, let's see how this works. I'm gonna do this instead. Yeah, this seems to work a little bit better for me. Okay, Corey, or not Corey, Infant. That break thing makes really sense. Yes, it does. Trust me. Once you get a little bit older and you have to go to the physiotherapist because you're just in actual pain, and you can't really do anything, then you will realize, okay, I do have to take care of my body. After all, if you think about it, human bodies were not designed to be sitting in front of a desk for this many hours. There's a bit more green there, isn't there? And make it a bit darker. So if nothing else, I really like this back mountain here. This sort of works for me. Okay, and I would bring a little bit more dark in here as well. Or maybe that's a bit too much, but that works, yeah. There we go. I'll come down here and bring just a little bit of, almost like give a shadow to where the road is. Or should I lighten it? Let's see which one works better. Well, I think this works better. And I just noticed that the road, where do I have the road? There we go. Is not necessarily correct. So I'm going to transform it and bring it down just a little bit, like that. There we go. And then I can continue with this one a little bit. If I look at the image, it goes a bit more that way. Yeah, I'm gonna lock the layer again, bring in some shadows, and a little bit of that nice yellow. Not too much, just a little bit. Yeah, that already looks better, doesn't it? And this one, I'm gonna take this one and bring some. Do we have a locked layer here? No, we don't. That's good. Why should we not use zoom? Because you don't see what you're doing. Well, this is mostly for painting, so I'm not taught this is not industrial design now. But okay, imagine. Let us go back to this wonderful little everything area. And let me take a brush this a bit. Imagine you have this is your canvas, and you have to draw, I don't know, X amount of things here. And let's talk about the robot again, right? So you have a robot here that is coming towards an army of people here that need to stop it, and then in the background you have some more robots coming in, and the big spaceship also landing with them. So just something quickly like this. And then you have this idea. And then instead of like putting everything in there, you start, do I have a thinner one? Oh. Let me go to that. So you start detailing this robot, and you zoom in and you do, oh, these are all the nice mechanisms. And then, oh, you put in pistons because it has to work properly, right? And then maybe if I add a little bit of gritting there, and there's some sort of light area, and then, oh, what if I cut the robot into a little bit like this? And then maybe there's somebody sitting in there. And you just go crazy on this, and you spend an hour like really having fun and zooming in with all the details. And then you have to give this, like your time is up, and you have to give this visual over to somebody. And then you have a really detailed robot here, and everything else is poop. Everything else is a little bit of this. And like this image won't sell. Like this image you won't be able to give anybody because you have this robot that's worked out, but the rest just doesn't say anything. Like if you want to tell a story, the whole image has to be, well, relatively on the same level of detail, because you have first degree, second, and third degree detail, right? But in general, it's better if you work on the whole image at the same level, and then switch and slowly start detailing what you need to detail. Rather than if I would have zoomed in here and would have made a really, really nice bush here, and everything else you can't recognize what it is. Well, that wouldn't have helped me or helped anybody. So that's why, especially when you're doing painting, it's important to not zoom in from the beginning. You can zoom in towards the end, because everybody knows that zooming in and doing details, that's the really fun part. And if you look at, I don't know, I have one open right here. Let me bring this over for you guys to see. So we were talking with my friends about this. I don't know who did this, but if I start zooming in, it's just very rushed brush strokes. Look at the bushes back here. It's just a couple of brush strokes. Like it's nothing. The most detail and the only detail here is on the church in the middle, and even this nice bush is just a couple of brush strokes, and it's really just scribble everywhere. But if you zoom out, it's a really cohesive and beautiful painting. So that's what I'm trying to learn for myself as well, and that's why it's important to not necessarily zoom in. Okay, what else do we have? I have zero skills in industrial design drawing. I guess that's why I stay plugged in learning. I like the challenge. My opinion is if I make something, I want to be able to explain it to the team. Yeah, that's a very good approach. Very good approach. But also, I as I said, like if you get a little bit of that 3D modeling in there, the industrial design drawing is not even that necessary. Okay, I need a color in between these. I actually had quite a couple of colleagues at the industrial design uni where I was learning. They didn't like and they never did drawing before, and they just barely passed drawing, but they were really good with 3D modeling. So that's whatever tool, especially if you're not in it for the drawing, then whatever tool does the job for you, just use that. Alex, hey, how would you go about designing motorcycles that combines Mad Max with Ghost in the Shell influence? That sounds a lot like cyberpunk. I would go about looking up a lot of reference. So I would look up something. I'm not that good with. I love cyberpunk, but I'm really not that good with it. Okay, let me just draw this little bush area here before I forget, and then I'll see what I think about. This should be above it. About the whole Mad Max thing, because it's really all about just. I even see people, getting together a lot of reference, and just collaging it together, just really taking one part of a Mad Max car and putting it onto a bike from, let's say, Akira or Ghost of the Shell in this case. But Ghost of the Shell is very much inspired, if I'm correct, also by Blade Runner and that sort of design language. So it is a lot of cyberpunk there. And cyberpunk is a little bit also, if you think about, it is technological, but it is also, I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, because it's not, but it is about decay, and it is about humans being a slave to the technology. It's actually not bad there. Oh yeah. I see some nice poles there, so let me take a different brush. I like this part when there are poles like this, because I can just have fun with these. And suggest a little bit more of the perspective. That's too big. Just a little bit thicker. Something like that. and then go down to thin again. It's nowhere there. Okay. So now I'm gonna lock this, and I'm gonna make sure that those whites are not too strong. I'm gonna go back with like sort of a green one, and just knock that back a little bit. And the more we go towards the horizon, the more I'm gonna knock it back. There we go, same with these here. Whoa. Right, and that looks quite nice actually, I like it. Like, okay, let me jump quickly. I did have one open here, right? Okay, so let's look at Mad Max vehicle and look at Git's bike. Images and images. So you see, trying to see, so Git's is very similar to Akira, as I said. It's about being smooth. So what I would do, if we look at Mad Max, is really just cobbled together. So what I would do is, it's more likely that the universe we're in is more like Git's. So I would take, for example, this bike. I don't know who designed it. I don't want to steal it. It's just nice all of a sudden. And then look at the cars from Mad Max. So what we have is lots of parts missing. So like let me take a different brush and paint over it. So maybe this area is missing here. And then we have, I would leave more areas here that are empty. Then maybe take engine parts, copy image. So I would try and show more of these engine parts. Just cut something out from here. Hey, what's happening? There we go, there's our engine. Try to fit it in there a little bit. Let's see which layer option works best. I'll stick with overlay. Overlay always serves me fine. Merge it down. Paint in a little bit more. Paint over, give some shine here and there. Oh, a bit lighter. And so that's one thing. And then obviously you will have to dirt it up a little bit as well. So you can just take some dirt flecks. Let me see if I have anything in here. I can just use my painting brush, and I'm gonna add a little bit of muck to it. Oh yeah, one thing that is, if you want to blend it a little bit as well, is this here. So let me go back here, and then we want a rust texture. Boom, there are our beautiful rusty images. I'm gonna take, which one do I like most? Let's try this one. No, I do not want the address. Gosh darn me on my quick clicking. Copy image. Let's come back into Photoshop. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? It's a good quality. Alright, there we go. Overlay, as always, perfect. And then add a mask, and then just brush it in and out wherever you need it. And then also you can paint over it a little bit here and there. Let's say the engine I'll leave empty. But something like this is what I would do if, like, definitely start out with one world or the other. So don't just mush them together, decide which is the basic world, and then apply elements from the other one. Let's close this because it's not my image and I'm not allowed to use it. I will definitely look into the 3D Fusion. I just got this software called Blender. Blender is great for modeling, but if you want to 3D print things, if you want to actually manufacture things, 3D Fusion 360 is going to be better. Also, Fusion 360 is parametric, which means that you can put all your variables and all your measurements in sort of like a Google Sheets, Excel sheet, and read them out with the program from there. So you can just change them there, and the program will adapt your 3D model to the new parameters. I want to throw in my opinion about drawing and 3D modeling. You need to master both. Drawing things helps to... yes, the font is correct. So drawing things helps you in fast thinking, but if you're not good with drawing and if you're really fast with 3D modeling, I would say you can sort of get away with it. So I don't think it's super necessary, but it is definitely an advantage for you if you know how to draw. It's super fast. Did I jump over Alex? I appreciate it, thank you. Seeing reference then. I've been looking at a lot of bikes, but then I'm sketching. I can't come up with any. Yeah, be inspired, man, by other stuff. Like, nobody is really coming up with brand new shit. It's everything that there's on YouTube. There's this awesome video. Look it up. Everything is a remix. And that is true. Everything is a remix. Okay, let me just bring in a little bit more here. And I feel like I missed out on a nice big fluffy one here. Pablo, sadly I have to be up early in the morning. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Pablo. I hope to see you soon again. Have a nice evening sleep. Yeah. But I do agree with Nefant. Preferably, it's best if you know both, of course. So this should lighten up a little bit. Okay, and what am I missing? Looking at it from far. I think I'm gonna bring this slowly to an end, guys. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask it now, because I think I'm gonna close this live stream very soon. This could be a bit more yellow, I feel. Let's see. Just a bit here and there, and then we have a couple of splotches. Oof, they're in the far. Okay, no group, just height. And a bit more like this. Yeah, I think that works. I do think that works. Those are the clouds. Good thing is to name your layers. Then this is, I'll call this far away. Next to road. This is right side bushes. And this then would be left side bushes. And then we have road. Good. And now I know I wanted to work on left side bushes. Unlock it. Oh, I don't want to work on left side bushes. Next to road, sorry, that's what I wanted to work on. Hey, where did you get that reminder stretch notification from? That's neat. It's called Workrave. So let me just go look it up for you guys. Break reminder is called Workrave for Windows, or you can use, what was it called again? Oh, a timeout for Mac, and then fix some of the spelling errors. Jesus Christ, I can draw but I can't type. There we go. Okay, so next to road, I wanted to erase it here a little bit, right? And I wanted to add a bit more of just general. Make it a bit lighter, I feel like. Lock it down. Even lighter. And maybe a bit more yellow. Yeah, I actually like this. And then I can add some of the greener green here. And the music stopped, which is perfect because that's just a good reminder that I need to slowly also stop. Okay, let me answer your last questions. Hey, okay, I answered that. Good luck. Thanks, Ashkam. And Julia Garcia, no, I am drawing on a Wacom 13 HD. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me, guys. This was really fun. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed my try at painting something. And hopefully I will do one soon again. But with that, I will end the stream and have a nice evening. Goodbye.